Federal and local authorities have conducted a series of raids in San Pedro, targeting members and also associates of the Mexican Mafia.
Los Angeles, once celebrated for glamour, entertainment, and culture, is now the epicenter of a hidden and unprecedented war. Beneath the city's neon lights and bustling streets, a violent clash is unfolding between old-world mafia networks and modern Mexican cartels. What once was a silent partnership managing drug distribution has deteriorated into open hostility, leaving streets unsafe and communities in fear. Federal officials describe this as the largest organized crime conflict in modern history, with narcotics, weapons, and illicit finance coursing through the city like arteries. The scale of corruption and violence is staggering, and authorities warn that the consequences extend far beyond city limits. This is a battle for control of an underground economy that rivals legitimate corporations in size and complexity, turning ordinary neighborhoods into contested zones. As law enforcement intensifies its efforts, the stakes have never been higher, marking a new chapter in America's fight against organized crime. The collapse of a decades-long alliance. For 50 years, Italian-American mafia families and Mexican cartels collaborated quietly, controlling a vast narcotics network stretching from border towns to major financial hubs. Cocaine, heroin, and meth moved through meticulously coordinated channels, benefiting from loyalty, protection, and shared profits. This long-standing alliance masked a delicate balance of power, ensuring stability for both sides. However, in 2025, betrayals surfaced. Court documents and encrypted financial records revealed that one faction began cutting the other out of multi-billion-dollar shipments. What started as a business dispute quickly escalated into violent retaliation. Surveillance footage showed armed men opening fire in broad daylight, signaling the first confirmed instance of intercartel warfare on American soil. Los Angeles, previously a hub of clandestine cooperation, became a battlefield. The collapse of trust between mafia and cartel operatives exposed the fragility of alliances that had endured decades, turning the city into a volatile stage where criminal empires fight openly for control. Los Angeles, a modern crime battlefield. Los Angeles is no longer just a city facing crime. It is a living, breathing battlefield. The ports, airports, and neighborhoods have become arteries for narcotics, weapons, and money laundering. The Sinaloa cartel dominates import routes, while rival factions like the Jalisco New Generation Cartel and the Mexican Mafia compete for street-level dominance. Violence is now commonplace, with bodies and fear marking the cityscape from San Pedro to Pasadena. Neighborhoods that were once peaceful are now contested zones controlled by freelance enforcers, gangs, and hit squads loyal to whoever pays most. Federal intelligence warns that this conflict is not isolated. The drug network originating from Los Angeles distributes narcotics to more than 200 U.S. cities, meaning the chaos is a threat to countless communities nationwide. Law enforcement struggles to keep up as the conflict shifts and spreads, making Los Angeles the prototype for a new kind of organized crime landscape in America. The financial empire behind violence. Beneath the street-level violence, investigators uncovered a sophisticated financial network fueling the chaos. Shell companies, crypto accounts, and Chinese-run exchanges moved billions of dollars through fake invoices, laundering profits into legitimate businesses, homes, and vehicles. Mafia intermediaries provided expertise in money laundering and access to corrupt banking networks, ensuring illicit funds appeared clean. This combination of cartel logistics and financial engineering created an economy so complex that it rivaled corporate operations in efficiency. Authorities discovered that entire neighborhoods, warehouses, and businesses were integrated into the system, often unknowingly participating in criminal activity. The financial power of these networks allowed them to recover quickly from law enforcement interventions, highlighting a shift from traditional crime to highly organized corporate-style operations. The focus on money, control, and influence has transformed organized crime into an adaptable, multi-layered enterprise. Ports and airports, critical cartel arteries. Los Angeles's ports and airport infrastructure have become central to the criminal network. Thousands of containers and freight shipments provide cover for smuggling narcotics, cash, and weapons, often hidden beneath legitimate imports. The Port of Los Angeles, Port of Long Beach, and LAX are essential to this underground operation, serving as arteries for illegal goods entering and leaving the United States. Authorities struggle to inspect all shipments, creating vulnerabilities that traffickers exploit. The integration of legitimate infrastructure with criminal logistics demonstrates a level of sophistication unseen before, where everyday commerce and illicit operations overlap seamlessly. Federal officials warn that this model of distribution could easily be replicated in other major cities. The port's strategic importance makes them not just gateways for goods, but also symbols of how deeply organized crime can embed itself in the systems of modern urban life. Digital and financial evolution of organized crime. Modern organized crime has evolved beyond streets and warehouses, entering the digital realm. Cartels and mafia networks use encrypted communication, AI-generated encryption, and cryptocurrency to move money and coordinate operations with unprecedented speed. Black market peso exchanges have been upgraded to digital systems, allowing transactions to bypass traditional banking altogether. Investigators traced millions of dollars through offshore accounts, Chinese brokers, and crypto wallets, all connected to the Los Angeles network. These systems are self-adapting, capable of rerouting and rebooting even after law enforcement intervention. The digital evolution of organized crime means physical arrests or seizures are only partial solutions. The underlying network remains operational and capable of expansion. This fusion of finance, technology, and violence has created a post-detection criminal ecosystem that challenges conventional law enforcement methods. Gangs as enforcers and local operators. Street gangs now act as the operational arms of cartels, enforcing orders, collecting revenue, and intimidating rivals. Previously bound by codes of loyalty, gangs have shifted to a mercenary model, working for whichever faction offers the highest payment. This creates a volatile environment in which neighborhoods are constantly at risk of violence, intimidation, and destabilization. Analysts describe this as a collapse of the traditional balance between gangs and organized crime, leaving communities in perpetual uncertainty. The human cost is immense, as ordinary residents, workers, and business owners are caught in the crossfire. Law enforcement faces challenges in distinguishing between innocent participants and complicit actors. Gangs have become interchangeable tools in a larger criminal enterprise, demonstrating how deeply organized crime penetrates the social and economic fabric of Los Angeles. The national threat beyond Los Angeles. The conflict in Los Angeles is not contained within the city. It represents a blueprint for national criminal networks. Intelligence indicates that similar laundering and trafficking systems are emerging in Houston, Chicago, Miami, and New York. These mirror nodes are capable of rapid replication, rebuilding themselves even after targeted law enforcement action. The interconnected nature of modern organized crime allows these networks to operate across state lines and international borders. Federal agencies warn that the challenge is no longer about isolated criminal groups, but a systemic threat that integrates finance, technology, and violence. Los Angeles serves as both a testing ground and a prototype. showing how quickly sophisticated crime networks can adapt and expand. The implications for public safety, law enforcement, and national security are profound. The perpetual nature of modern organized crime. Law enforcement now faces a perpetually adaptive threat. Criminal networks operate as hydras, eliminate one component, and new ones emerge. Digital and financial innovation allows these groups to evolve faster than legal systems, and enforcement mechanisms can respond. Cartel coders, crypto brokers, and international financiers ensure that operations continue, even as raids disrupt parts of the network. Federal analysts describe Los Angeles as a laboratory for transnational crime, where traditional law enforcement is tested against evolving criminal intelligence. This perpetual cycle of disruption and regeneration makes combating organized crime increasingly complex. Authorities stress that long-term strategy, international cooperation, and technological investment are crucial to containing this threat before it metastasizes nationwide. Global implications and future outlook. The Los Angeles case has demonstrated that organized crime is now a global challenge. Cooperation between U.S. agencies and international partners, including Mexico, Cuba, and European governments, has become vital. Intelligence sharing and coordinated operations aim to create a global firewall against criminal networks. Emerging technology, from AI to blockchain, is being deployed both by law enforcement and criminal entities, creating a high-stakes race for control. Analysts warn that the outcome of this conflict will determine whether cities across the United States can maintain sovereignty over their economies and public safety. Los Angeles represents the first test in a new era of criminal warfare, blending finance, violence, and technology in ways that demand unprecedented strategy, coordination, and resilience. The fight has entered a generational struggle with stakes that reach far beyond local crime. The new face of urban warfare, Los Angeles, has become a blueprint for modern organized crime, merging Mafia traditions with cartel violence and financial sophistication. Street battles, shootouts, and overdoses are only the visible symptoms of a deeper structural war conducted through servers, ledgers, and digital networks. The city demonstrates how organized crime can infiltrate legitimate infrastructure, exploit technology, and manipulate global financial systems. Federal officials warn that the threat is not temporary. It is ongoing, adaptive, and increasingly invisible. Communities, law enforcement, and policymakers are being forced to confront a new battlefield where the lines between legality, commerce, and criminality blur. Los Angeles, with its ports, neighborhoods, and digital systems, is both the front line and the testing ground for this new era. The outcome of this conflict will define how America confronts and contains organized crime in the decades to come.